One, our goal is to connect people to the church, and more importantly, to connect them to Jesus Christ. Without Him, recovery is fleeting at best. So that's our goal, is to bring guys to completion in Christ. And that's the difference. That's the difference maker. And we're not just taking people who have substance abuse issues. We're taking people who are broken.
TLC is important because there are people in the world that need more encouragement and help to get past a lot of things that have gone on in their lives that have been done either to them or by them, and that the normal programs of a church are not sufficient to be that kind of encouragement. So the best way I know how to explain TLC is that it's an intensive care unit of discipleship.
So I want to do the best that we can do as a ministry that God wants us to do with the people. Then He changes people. He changes their hearts. We don't. We just provide some structure, people around them that care for them and love them, no matter what. They are who they are. They're at where they're at in a lot of different areas. And there's a lot of broken people for one reason or another, and we're open. It's for them to become complete in Christ, to make Jesus Christ Lord and Savior, and be willing to do what He wants them to do. And that's the goal.
Yeah, we got soda. What else we got? Yeah, soda. There's coffee in there too. Everything okay? Kids? Oh, why did we ever have them? Oh, that's right.
Everything's okay. Yeah, right. You see the smile on my face. You know, we have to find out. If I drive out there, the whole night will be gone.
Can they email? Can they email?
I'm going to text.
We have a scanner here.
Yeah, so it wouldn't have mattered anyway.
No, that's their fault.
You can print one off the website. Those are fun though. Just, yeah. No, you're good. Welcome. Thanks for coming. I'm just gonna get some footage. We got whatever you want. Okay, I'll bring it over here. I got one. Hola, amigo. What are we cooking here?
Chicken, carne asada, and pork.
Chicken, carne asada, and pork, and we got all the
Tacos, burritos, and quesadillas.
beautiful. Oh, look at this. Feast.
Beans and the rice.
Feast. Yes.
We good?
Yes. Everything's perfect. People working away.
Thank you, and extend a bit of an honor to both Wayne and Sharon for their dedication and service to this ministry. I want to again thank Jeff and Susan Munson and Linda Robbins and anyone else and Dave and Diane Harrison for participating and pulling this together tonight with a bunch of us, trying to keep this together and organized and things like that, so I appreciate that a lot. Just, a little bit of a quick introduction too, just to our fellow board members. Our administrative assistant, Lorraine Kraft. She's the center of everything we do and keeps us all squared away. John Gilbert's here. Thank you, John. Susan Munson. Linda Robbins. Dave Harrison, who is not here, but he also sits on our board. And I'm not sure if I missed it. Kevin Koska is on our board. So thank you for all. And then many of those also sit on the intake side. Kevin's on the intake. Alex Hiskey sits on our intake. Brian Gallagher sits on the intake side. And who else? Matt Parrish is part of that team. Gary Hutchins is part of our team, and Bill Wallace is part of our team. They're not here tonight, but big thank you for them. They spend a lot of time each month to try to make sure that the program moves along, and we do our best with the little bit of expertise that we have sometimes. Tonight, what we want to do again is just to kind of say thank you again to Wayne and Sharon and all of their family for actually the time and the many decades plus of time that they've put into this program, and we can't even count the amount of hours, and that's not even the important part. Their passion and their dedication and their love for the men and women that have been through here. Somewhere over 100 people have been part of this ministry in one fashion or another for all these years, and so we want to thank them with that. With that too, we have a couple of folks that would like to say a few words tonight too. One, was kind of at the beginning of all of this. It was his vision and some of his thoughts behind this, and in working with others and the business team at the time, and certainly with Wayne and Sharon. Pastor John today will say a few words tonight, and then we're going to have Pastor Dave say a few words also, more contemporary-wise. And then afterwards, if there's anyone else that would like to, we can turn it into a roast, or we can turn it I'm open that. So with that, I'd just like to introduce Pastor John. Well, I'm actually going to read what I'm going to say because when Susan put out the email about the scrapbook and writing some notes, Grace and I began to think about our time with Wayne and Sharon over the years from way back in the beginning. So I've called this a tribute before God to Wayne and Sharon Newman. TLC Thank You Reception, August 23rd, 2014. When we think of all that God has done in and through the two of you, our hearts are filled with thanksgiving for the privilege of knowing you and serving Him together with you over these many years. We think of the time when you first showed up at Calvary Church of Placentia, thinking that it was a Chinese church. What a step of faith that was. God was here to meet you and encourage you in His ways for you. One of the first things we did with you was remarry you during the fellowship hour. Little did we know that your level of commitment to God and to each other was going to grow in His strength that would allow you to serve Him and your family and the broken of our church in the remarkable way you have. We remember how your ministry with TLC began as a part of the care team for Patrick and Lori Belleville. We all decided that they needed to go to Green Oak Ranch. When we needed a place for them to stay until the ranch accepted them into the program, you guys took them in with you with your 3 kids in your 2-bedroom apartment for 2 or 3 weeks or more. The 3 kids are all here tonight. You guys remember that?
Oh, yeah.
This act of kindness and love became a pattern that spoke of the love of God, the love God had given you for those addicted to their brokenness who express a willingness to let God change them and heal them. What a journey this has been for you. Thank you for letting us walk with you on that journey. We remember asking you if working with our dear TLC people was becoming overwhelming to you as you both were working full-time in other jobs. Your reply to that, Wayne, was, "I love doing it because it redeems all of my wasted years in addiction and self-centeredness." We will never forget that answer. I, John, remember telling you, Wayne, and this includes Sharon, as she supported you all these years and shared in the ministry, that without you guys, Calvary Church could never fulfill this ministry. We needed your lives, experience, wisdom, and love for the people who came to us in order to give them any hope of change and healing that God could bring to them. And now you have been led of God on a new road of life and ministry. The great news about this is that God...
I know whose phone that is.
There's a unicycle outside the garage.
Wait.
End of the hour.
Are you a little red?
It's like the meeting.
It's okay. I remember one Sunday at Calvary Church, I did that in the pulpit. The great news about this is that God will be with you every step of the way. We look forward to all the ways God will bless you and continue to make you a blessing. We will always remember the blessing and privilege it has been to walk this road together with you and our great God. All our love in Jesus to you both, John and Grace. God bless you, Wayne.
I just want to make a couple of quick comments about the personal side of Wayne and Sharon through the years, because we're all here recognizing the official capacity that you carried through all this time, and that's wonderful. But there's another side that I really appreciate in all this, and that's the personal growth that went on during this whole time. And I can still remember that marriage in between services at Calvary. And I remember looking up there and saying, this is a disaster. And not having much hope for this family that I didn't even know. And thinking, what's going on here? Who are these people? And what a mess. And here we are, I don't know how many years later, but watching you guys flourish in God's grace and continuing to grow in who you are, and that gives a testimony to what you've been trying to do in this ministry all these years. You know, it's pie in the sky to think that God can just step in and just change people's lives, except we get to see what God's done in your lives. And it's fun to see, even while you've been in that role, there's been stages for you guys. You know, Wayne, for you, remember early in the years when you were in our small group where Wayne had this thing, he had this New Jersey side, you know, and it was use guys, and he didn't attach himself to anybody. It was always use guys. And I remember the small group got a chance to talk to him about that, and he sat there and he thought, you're right, I do that. I separate everybody else and point the finger, and I saw him work at that. I saw him do that. And then even the issue of authority in your life, which you preach in TLC. But there were times that in the process that you and I were having to sit there and butt heads about this issue of authority, and you'd fight back in your New Jersey way, and then eventually you'd say, ugh, you'd groan, and you'd say, you're right, and you'd submit, you'd give in, you'd say, you're right, I need this, and those were special times you get to see, because that is the building block of what the whole ministry is, you know, getting to see that take place in multiple lives, and that's what you've been working for. And Sharon, the same thing for you. It's fun. You know what? I'll give you the scouting report on Sharon. The scouting report on Sharon in the early years of small group was, she's a lot of fun, but be careful, because you don't know what's going to come out of her. She'll say the wildest things, you know, and you're not sure how it's going to come and when it's going to come, and that was just the scouting report for many years. You want to know what the updated scouting report is?
Yes, please.
The updated scouting report is a blessing and a gift to a small group to have. Strength and willingness to give and serve, and be honest and real, and it's been great to see that process in your guys' lives, and that's what TLC is all trying to do: reproduce yourselves in these other ways. So watching you guys develop and watching the Lord be gracious to you and enfold you has been equally great, along with all the service years that you've put in. So I think, and I think a lot of people here can amen that. Mm-hmm. I just get to say it because you and I have had lunch on Fridays for the last, I don't know how many years doing that. And I'm sad to not do that now that you're not doing the TLC. We did that because Wayne was on the front lines dealing with all kinds of crud, and he needed at least just a place to be and share and say, how are you doing? And we got to do that for all these years, and it's been a real blessing. So anyway, we're grateful for the ministry. Yes, that's what this is all about here tonight, but equally grateful for what the Lord's doing in your lives and the lives through other people, through you guys. So just wanted to say that.
So anyone else that would like to share anything or at all? If not, that's fine. Wayne and Sharon coming up first.
We have to do this.
This is, I can tell you what I've learned about Wayne, that this is his most favorite thing to do right now. Right?
Right next to getting my teeth pulled.
It's not Wayne's.
It's too mellow.
It's too soft. You know, I know all of the folks here are friends of the TLC program, or people that you have touched over the years in one way or the other, and so that's why this group of folks are here today to say thank you to you guys for, I mean, the hours, and like I said, hours and hours, and the heart and the sweat and your passion and your love for the ministry and for the people that were in it. And I know from my perspective, you know, in the involvement that I've had in the last few years, I've learned a lot from both of you, and especially from Wayne on the ministry and how to, you know, kind of deal with different situations and how not to deal with certain situations. And all of us are still learning a lot in that way. And but I want to thank you from my own personal perspective for that, and I know that at our meetings now we have a lot more cookies left over than we used to, but that's a side note. So thank you for all of us, and while I know it's not something that you seek and all that, but all of us together wanted to give you a little bit of a thank you for all of that, and this is for you. To do whatever you do with that, and we just wanted to say thank you.
That's what you do with it.
I would ask Wayne if he wants to say something, but he'll probably kick it over to Sharon. So.
No, I do.
Okay, go ahead. You're on.
Thank you.
I was thinking about this week. I've always known that these guys, the ministry, has ministered to me more than I've ever ministered to them. And that's what's always made it easy, that part. The hard part was the part Dave talked about, was what went on in me and with Sharon and the way we kind of functioned. So the ministry part was so easy. I mean, God just did it. We just kind of were there, and He brought things along. But the hard stuff was in the small group, learning how to be, you know, a man who follows God, how to be a husband, how to be a dad, how to be honest, how to be connected, which I still work at. I don't do that very well. And yeah, we've been totally blessed by the ministry, not the other way around. And like this is like way over the top. It's really not necessary. But thank you. So yeah. You want to say something? No.
Continue on. Thank you for everyone for coming, and for everyone who had some part of this, and I know they appreciate it as much as we all do. So thanks.
And don't forget to write your notes.
Yeah, scrapbook.
Okay.
Write your notes. Go color.
Memory book.
Picture. Memory book. So that's
The yearbook. Right in there.
Enjoy.
Hey, have a be somewhere.
All right. Oh yeah, your family. That's
But it's just like getting the car, drive all the way to West Hill.
yeah.
Do an hour and 10 minutes because I got to report back to my weekly.
Like Scrabble or something? It looks like you got little Scrabble things.
Yeah, they're like little letters.
It's a better time. I was down the shore. I remember it was painful. I was just telling her to grab me one day and go to the beach. It's even funny for me to ask you. Like I asked you, that makes sense. I'm like, he's not the guy to ask no more.
Especially Miss Sue. Miss Sue loves you. She loves you.
I don't even think it does. You don't think it does? And you know what? It's funny. You and I having the same conversation. Oh no, me and Brian were having a conversation. I was just saying, I just feel you know what I
I'm not the talker. My wife's not here.
Oh.
She would say thank you for your commitment and selflessness. And she has me now because of you guys. So
There you go.
from Tracy's heart to thank you. And I
Awesome.
thank you guys.
Yeah.
The way you have the removable pages.
Perfect.
So